For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or cheap games on any platform, use the referral link in the description. It'll take you to g2a.com. Use the promo code CHES over there and you'll get yourself 3% cash back. For all No Identity merchandise, hats, hoodies and t-shirts, follow the link in the description down below to the No Identity Fan Fibre website. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 4 of Season 3 here in the Oviedo Career Mode series. In the last episode, we were able to somehow win at the pre-season tournament to raise some extra funds. So I'm still not sure whether I'm going to spend them in this window, whether I'm going to wait and spend them in January. I have asked on Twitter for feedback with regards to potential transfers for a dynamic winger. Again, as I mentioned, recording videos a long way ahead of time because I'm at Gamescom for a week, so I need to keep up with the content. As such, I'm not able to act upon your suggestions in the comment section just yet, but all of your feedback is very important for the January transfer window should we not be able to find someone appropriate in January here. And I'm sure a number of the players I've actually added to my shortlist are what will be in the comment section anyway. I've added some that are obvious and some that are perhaps a little bit out of my reach right now at the position we're in, and some that are, perhaps, I don't know, dark horses that you wouldn't necessarily have expected. I've got Emerson here, who's down as a left wing back, but I reckon he could do a job on the left-hand side of midfield, but I don't know much about him, so I'm scouting him. Obviously, everybody here is being scouted or is already scouted. Lerma was already here on my shortlist. Samuel Castillejo is currently out of my price range, but if I can sell everybody else that I want to sell, his wages aren't that high, so I could transfer money from the wage budget into the transfer budget, and maybe we might just be able to afford someone like Samuel Castillejo. I might consider selling an extra player that's worth something just to raise the extra funds to bring him in. Christian Teo is kind of, again, another dark horse, an unexpected option, but I'm looking for a dynamic winger, and he would be very dynamic. Could he do the job that we're asking of him? Not sure. Xherdan Shaqiri was a very popular option on Twitter. Again, slightly out of my price range currently. His wages are quite high as well, so I would have to sell someone else furthermore from what I've already sold to be able to bring Xherdan Shaqiri in. Dani Ceballos is still on my shortlist because he's brilliant. Rafael Guerrero is down as a centre mid, but can play on the left-hand side of midfield as well. Again, out of my price range currently, but does look extremely good. So I would contemplate selling on to bring him in. Another kind of out-of-the-box option is Denis Cheryshev. Scouting him currently, he's at Villarreal. Always plays well against me, so I'm keen to see what his stats actually look like. Conor Plianka tore me apart for Celta Vigo last season, and he's only valued at 13.5 million. I think he could be a genuine, really, really strong option. Not for much money either. So he's probably favourite as things stand, Conor Plianka. Probably top of the list at present. Vitolo is another player that I'm actually pretty keen on, despite the fact he's not as fast as I might like him to be. His technicals are very good. In real life, he's moved to Atletico Madrid. Can play on either side of midfield. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills. High work rates kind of put me off a little bit though. So I think Conor Plianka is still my favourite with mediums. Hesse is a player we could consider bringing back to Spain. Currently not able to scout him, but obviously we know what Hesse is all about, so I wouldn't need to scout him too heavily. It's just finding out what he's worth. Douglas Costa is an option that would be quite unrealistic at the stage that we are in this series, but considering there's not much time left in FIFA 17, we've got about a month until FIFA 18 hits. I would consider going for him, but again, Conor Plianka is my leading option. Heung-min Son is someone that we could genuinely look at. Obviously, can play in a multitude of positions. Again, high work rates put me off, but Heung-min Son is Heung-min Son, and obviously he is incredible. Carlos Vela is on the list as well. 29 years old though, so perhaps not quite as good as he would have been, say, 3 years ago, but obviously we are in the third season now. Lucas Vazquez is another option. £25 million though, so quite pricey, but a genuine option. Can play on the right-hand side. I could probably utilise him on the left as well if needs be. Iñaki Williams is a very obvious option. I have used him at Everton this year already, so I would perhaps lean away from him, but he's on the shortlist because he's who the majority of people have been suggesting. Ricardo Kirchner is actually available on a pre-contract in January, but I would consider going in to buy him in this window. I'm still waiting for the full scout report, which will be with me in a few days. Theo Bongonda is another player at Celta that we could potentially look to. £18.5 million though, so I'm not sure whether his stats yet justify that sort of price tag, but we'll find out when the full scout report comes back. Ike Muniain tore me apart for Bilbao, so he's someone that I'd definitely be interested in. And Herving Lozano is a go-to for comment sections, but I can't see what his stats are at present, so we're waiting to see what his look like. But we actually have a full month between now. Oh, it's going to take ages to load the thing. We have a full month between now and the next game, which is the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinal. Wow, that would be nice, wouldn't it? The first leg of the Champions League fourth qualifying round against Rasenballsport Salzburg in the... No, it is Red Bull Salzburg. I'm thinking of Leipzig, aren't I? It's Red Bull Salzburg to stand between us and a place in the Champions League group stage. Now, because we have Barcelona in between, and because it's Barcelona, I'm not expecting to get a result there anyway, so I'm going to play a full-strength side in both of these games, and then not worry about the game against Barcelona. I'll play a weakened side, and whatever happens, whatever happens. We're not asked about playing against Barcelona. We've beaten them with a weakened side already in this series somehow. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens between now and that first game against Salzburg. I'm hoping that we can sell on a few more players. I've got 4 players still on the transfer list, but none of them are actually worth much. They're all on about £10,000 to £15,000 a week, though, so that would free up money that I can alter with regards to the transfer budget, which currently sits at 25 million with a wage budget of 120k. But if I can move, especially with perhaps someone like Samu Castillejo, move the majority of the wage budget back into the transfer budget, especially once a couple of other players have sold, then maybe we could afford someone that is currently a little bit more expensive. I have started training as well, as you can see there. Got a couple of emails coming in. I'll wait until we're able to actually train again before pausing, unless it automatically stops the simulation for me, which it shouldn't do. So I'm concentrating still on the youngsters, waiting for my Scout Future Star to come back. That will probably be in about a month's time, so we should get that in today's episode, hopefully. Transfer offer for Heselu, which I will be rejecting. He obviously is still my main #1 striker and will be going nowhere this season. And Lovrencic has gone to Almeria for a minimal fee, but minimal fees are enough to keep us ticking over right now. So we'll have to wait and see what happens between now and that game against Salzburg. It could be a lot. It could be pretty much nothing. We'll just have to wait and see. Drop the video a like if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any further content. Of course, there is Fatal going on currently, and the Arsenal career mode is still going from strength to strength. So hopefully you guys are enjoying everything on the channel still. We've still been growing quite well considering the time of year, which is great. Thank you for your support on the channel over recent times. I'm going to go and have a train. I'll show you the players. I'm actually training Sandoval, Retsos, Duarte and Timo Wolf currently. And I'll cut back to you when there's something to bring to you transfer-wise. Transfer offer for Pineda. He's very popular, but obviously going to be rejecting. He's not sure whether he's back from international duty yet or not, but 79 rated at 22 years of age. He's showing great promise, and he will be 82, 83 perhaps rated by the end of this season. Konoplyanka's full stats have come back. He's really not on much wage-wise either. I mean, for those stats, why is he only 81 rated? I can't fathom it. I mean, I would be stupid not to throw in a bid. I would be stupid not to throw in a bid here for Konoplyanka. I mean, if I can pick him up quite cheap, then that would still leave money in the January transfer window for perhaps a couple of pre-contract players as well. I'll start that again. Munayin is a similar rating and similar stat-wise, really. Although Konoplyanka actually is definitely better, despite being older. I mean, I can't not look at Konoplyanka, can I? Bongonda does look good, actually. Bongonda does look very good. He's £18.5 million. I will throw in a bid for him too. Looks quite tasty. He's just signed a new contract apparently, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'll offer 20. But I mean, if Konoplyanka is going to be that cheap, surely it would be silly not to try and sign him. It would be a waste of a really good opportunity to bring someone in that's that good for the next 2 seasons for a minimal fee. We will advance again. And Madrid are in talks with Leverkusen over Jonathan Tah. That would obviously strengthen their backline for the upcoming season. They want 30 for Bongonda. I don't have 30, and to be honest, I'm not willing to pay 30, so I'm going to cancel my interest in Theo Bongonda. Well, that was short-lived, wasn't it? Celta have said they want 25.5 for Konoplyanka. That's obviously not going to happen. I'll offer them 19 plus Jonathan Pereira because I want to get him off the books. It's one of the players that is still on the transfer list with regards the handful of players that I'm still looking to move on. So with another train and another advance, maybe Konoplyanka deal is going to get a step closer. They've rejected that offer. They aren't keen on Jonathan Pereira, which is fine. I've still got a couple of other players I want to sell on, including Caicedo, but I'll actually use Ortiz first because he's worth more. And Caicedo's actually still been doing a job for me in the first team, or in the rotation squad, so it'd be nice to keep him on over... Scout Future Star is back. What? Scout has returned. Yeah. It's this guy, must be. Pereira, I think I already had. Bruno, I think I already had. So, is it... Oh, it's one of these two. I can't remember which of them I had. Oh, it's got to be this guy, hasn't it? Because it's showing his potential stats. Nicholas Pereira, 6'3", centre mid. Currently 59 rated. Potential to get into the 90s, which it looks like he would do, considering his value is currently 275,000. All right. Well, I mean, I might as well offer a contract to both these guys and then try and get them loan spells, mightn't I? That's what I've been trying to do with all of the other youngsters in my team. So far, nobody wants to sign any of them on loan, which is really frustrating. And everybody seems to be a central midfielder as well. I can't seem to get away from central midfielders with all of these youth players that keep coming through. There's nobody in Colombia that I could potentially pick up. Jose Fernandez is out for 2 days. That's fine. And again, that's just the same squad report, isn't it? So, okay. Well, we'll push a little bit further then. Scout Future Star is back. We have a left wing Scout Future Star. We have a goalkeeper Scout Future Star. And we have now a centre mid goalkeeper. Oh, he's 80 rated now. Pineda's gone up a rating. We have moved into a new month, haven't we? Interesting. Okay, well, nice to see that Pineda is continuing to grow then. That's very promising. Dortmund have signed Stefan Savic from Atleti for 30 million. Celta Vigo have accepted the contract. That's fine. And he only wants 30 grand a week. I mean, that's probably the best possible deal we could have brought in. For the size of the club, for where we are with regards... Oh, someone's tried to sign Lerma. That's not good. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this stage. Great job with the youth programme. There we go. We've met a board objective already as well. That's fantastic. Okay, well, things seem to be falling into place for me right now. Transfer offer for Caicedo. They've offered 700 grand. If they give me $1 million, I would let Caicedo go because I might have enough money left over from the Konoplyanka deal to sign someone else like Ricardo Kirchner. So I'm definitely open to bringing in 2 wingers if I'm going to let multiple wingers leave. This actually, after not really knowing what the hell I was going to do in this window, this actually might be an extremely good transfer window for us. Yes, we've already got all of the pre-contract signings in to this point, all 13 of them. Transfer offer in for Duarte, a 1-year loan. That's good. We will send him out on loan to Veselo for a year. It's about time someone started bidding for my loan players. I really want to get him out. Well, so many people out of the door with regards to the youth squad. Because let me show you just how many youth players I have in the club right now. It's actually silly. I mean, look at that. That almost every single player on that list is a youth player that I'm trying to send out on loan, and no one is coming in for them. It's infuriating, but never mind. I'm going to go and list those other 2 youngsters that are now here in my first team squad for loan, and maybe we might get someone come in for them as well. Pereira will send him on a 1-year loan, and Soria will send him on a 1-year loan. You know, we just have to hope for the best. Konoplyanka has turned my offer down. Thankfully, he doesn't want that much wage-wise, so I can afford to stretch a little bit more and persuade him to come in. I'll offer him 40 grand a week rather than 30 grand a week, and I'm pretty sure he's going to accept that. I would be surprised, very surprised, in fact, if he didn't accept that. So... Oh, Vallecano are going to match the £1 million for Caicedo. Thank you very much, Rio. That is exactly the news that I wanted to hear at this particular moment in time. Valencia signed someone new. Oh, look, he signed for 40 grand a week. Money talks. Right. Now I could... Wait, let's wait for Caicedo to go. And I'll... You haven't played. Okay. Interesting. I don't know why you would be saying that to me. Let me quickly show you. Players like Well, Herving Lozano, actually, no, it's probably too expensive. Where were we? Kishna. He's only valued at £9.5 million. He's only rated at 78, but I mean, he could really do a job, couldn't he? Left wing, right wing, and at cam. He's 6 foot tall as well. I reckon I should go for Kishna. If, obviously, Caicedo leaves, which it looks like he will be, yeah, I reckon I might go for Kishna as well. I might be sorely tempted to go for Ricardo Kishna as well. Let's advance a little bit further and see what else happens. Caicedo has gone. Deal done. £700,000 added to my transfer budget, which obviously isn't much, but someone else I've had a scout report back on and has thrown himself into the mix as well. That person being, if I can, where are you? Person being Christian Teo. I don't know whether to start throwing in a potential bid for him as well. I mean, he's obviously already in Spain, so would be weakening an opponent. Doesn't? Oh, he's on 130 grand a week though. All right, never mind. Ignore Christian Teo. Going to throw in a bid for Kishna because his contract's running out. We might be able to get him a little bit cheaper as well. I'll offer 8, and it will offer me the opportunity to adjust my balance accordingly, and I'll actually adjust it a little bit further because obviously because of his wages we won't need as much as we currently have there in the transfer budget, so I'll actually move a little bit more that way like that so we can afford to go a little bit higher if needs be. But right now it's time to concentrate on the Champions League, which is something I didn't think I'd be saying at the end of last season, especially considering we finished in the Europa League spot. Time to go and play Red Bull Salzburg in the 4th qualifying round of the Champions League, away from home as well. A good, positive, solid result here, and it could almost guarantee ourselves a spot in the group stage before we've even contemplated the second leg. Let's go. Good ball over the top. Lewis should get there and has done. Here's Konoplyanka's first action as an Oviedo player. Gets it into Cicciaretti, through the gap there to Joselu. Arriving short is Castro, and down the line rushes Gonzalez, who's now in behind. Castro is still there for the pullback, and Castro could finish it off. No, he can't. I think the shot actually was going wide anyway, but Lena with the block. Corner to come in from Cicciaretti. So decent delivery. They've gotten it away. Who's going to get to that first? Their guy is, unfortunately, and Berisha will complete the clearance. Never mind, first chance goes my way after 6 or 7 minutes, but we aren't able to take it. Nice tackle by Vezo. I thought it was a nice tackle by Vezo. And Oberlin is just rushing away here. Lays it back there to Berisha. Decent delivery. Ed Lewis wins the first header. It's going to drop to... Oh, what a touch. Thankfully, Radoshevic can't shoot to save his life. But there's their first chance. Kiko. Gonzalez. Pineda's there. Through the gap. Cicciaretti. Konoplyanka. Wow, Cicciaretti got munched. I'll get this around the corner. Pineda into Castro. Surely this has to be 1-0, and is. Nicely tucked away. A good move. I could have stopped and waited for the free kick, but we played on and we've used the advantage to our advantage. A 1-0 lead. I really got battered there. A 1-0 lead and an away goal lead as well. Nicely taken by Castro. I think Castro and Pineda are going to become quite the partnership in midfield. I'm really looking forward to getting them stuck into this full season. Forward into Gonzalez. Through the gap there to Cicciaretti. Joselu is looking to make moves, but Cicciaretti can't keep hold of the ball, unfortunately. But Pineda's won it back. Joselu will get it out wide here to Konoplyanka. And we, very nearly got chopped, actually. Konoplyanka inside to Joselu. We'll look through. Oh, it's a beautiful ball, and Cicciaretti's touch lets him down. I tried to hit it first time, but he just wouldn't react to it, unfortunately. That would have been a great second goal. Another good move that unfortunately wasn't quite finished accordingly. Here's Lena. Lazaro. Inside there to Samaseku, who's done well to hold off the attentions of Pineda. Radoshevic inside. Can we close him down? Oh, it's a great ball into Kwang. Oh, it's a good save. Great save from Aretha Balaga. That's kept us in front. It was very, very, very good. Reactions, or he just was able to get down to it as the shot was coming in. Lazaro to take the corner for Salzburg. And in it comes. Up we go with a header. And away, but only as far as Miranda. Into Radoshevic. Good tackle by Lewis. It's going to drop to Oberlin, but Castro gets the ball away. Now can we go for a counter? No, I've given it straight back to them. My breakaways in this game so far just haven't been good enough. Normally I'm quite decent on the counter-attack, but I just keep giving the ball straight back to them and putting myself under pressure. Oh, and it just won't drop for me here, and it has dropped for them, but Ruben Vezo with a block this time. Fantastic defending from him yet again, proving that we made the right decision in bringing him in. Radoshevic has gone off here. Gonzalez heads that way, but only as far as Samaseku. Into Berisha. The pressure is on right now, but thankfully he's put that over the bar. Chan on the ball. Into Berisha. Cross there to Oberlin. I've just opened up the space there, unfortunately, by poor defensive positioning, but thankfully it was poor offensive shooting from their man that meant that he wasn't able to put that away. They've had enough chances in this game to get themselves not only level, but in front, Salzburg. But they've been very, very wasteful in front of goal. Thankfully, despite not having many chances, we were able to take the one clear-cut one that came our way through the man that's on the ball now, Castro. Konoplyanka will get this out to Rico. Get it back to Konoplyanka. I could go for a shot, but I'll look for Cicciaretti. Player that I'm actually not really getting on that well with, I have to be honest. Konoplyanka, though, will look to bend that. Unfortunately, it's blocked, but I could try and win this header and knock it down. And Konoplyanka now has an empty goal to aim for and buries it. On his debut, he has a goal. Wasn't the most difficult because there was an open goal right there, but Heselu's done well there to knock that down to him after the keeper's committed, and he's just buried it. We lead by 2-0, and our debutant has a goal. Yabo drilled into Tete. Looking for the ball over the top, but it's poor. We'll clear it away, and I'm waiting for the referee to blow his whistle now. It would be very kind of him if he could, because I'd like to take this 2-0 lead and 2-0 win into the second leg in tomorrow's episode, which we have done. Very, very, very encouraged by that. A solid victory. Malmo beat Napoli by a goal to 0, which is interesting. Didn't see that coming. Napoli's place in the Champions League in doubt, although Malmo will have to go back to Italy for the second leg. And Salzburg will have to come to Spain for their second leg against us. But that's where we'll leave it off for today. We've got the game against Barcelona upcoming. And then, of course, the second leg against Salzburg between now and transfer deadline day, which will be tomorrow. And we will hopefully get that other winger in. I'm leaning towards Kishner, but if someone else pops up with an opportunity, then I might take it. But for now, I mean, this has been a great window for us, and hopefully the start of a fantastic season. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.